No.
No. So what did I say about this version that you're handing in?
Yeah, you said just to make sure that we are on the right track, to know what we're doing, so that if there's any error, you tell us what to do the next day.
Right. And so this means that I want you to do your best and to try to create it, but I also will give you feedback. If you hand this in and you review the tools of 2 other people on Padlet, then you will get the full 5%. So this is a free 5% just for getting support. So not so bad. And to make sure that you're on the right track. So, and the reason I want you to hand them in thanks, Antonia. That was a great recap. By Friday night is I want to be able to make sure that you are on track so that you could actually start, as soon as I've approved your tools, you can actually start your recruitment, which might seem overwhelming, but as soon as the tools are approved, you're ready to go. So if you actually hand them in earlier than Friday, then please feel free to just send me an email and say, Bethany, I uploaded it. Can you take a look at it? I'm feeling like I'm ready to get started on this recruitment. So I'm really happy to work with you on that, and I will prioritize supporting you on that. A couple of people sent me things last night that I will make sure that I look over, and so you'll have feedback from me by tonight. And I'm also happy. The rest of my day is completely full, but I'm happy to meet with people tomorrow morning if they want to meet and chat. But this is also a good chance to ask some questions right now. So what are the things? Natasha, are you back on? Natasha? Okay, so Natasha, you and Kiana were the only people who actually posted on the Padlet, and so for this week, and you did, that was a great job, but and you gave us a great summary. But what you want to do is you actually want to actually add your final documents. And so that will be your survey tool with that has a link to your survey in it. And are you doing interviews or surveys, Natasha? I'm trying to, I got a lot of people's research in my head, but Paul, you did a great job. You posted about process, but this is actually for the assignment and to give your, so it's actually in the chat right now, Paul. And so you'll be able to, and I'll put all of this in the announcement afterwards, like after class. That's right. I was sure you were doing a survey. So then in that case, Natasha, all that you need to add is your survey link and to the post that you've already created. And I'll just show you where that is. So Kiana and Natasha put theirs up. They gave a beautiful summary of their work. And all that you would do, Natasha, is you would edit your post and just add so you can actually add a link. So you would just add the link to your survey. in on here so that you can get some feedback from your classmates as well. I have extended the date by which you need to have this posted and given feedback. So you need to have it posted by Friday, and you're already going to get you're already getting your survey ready. So you need to tell us your name on this post, and then put your survey link in with your embedded consent form. And so you can absolutely get that done because you're already getting it done. And remember, this is only to get formative feedback. So you want to look at 2 of your classmates' posts and give them some feedback, and then also submit to the OneDrive. Yeah, that's great. That's great, Natasha. You got time. There was no, I was impressed. I'll say that the intention was for this to happen over this past week. And it's possible that Frizana and I were a bit over enthusiastic about kind of getting you back on track in terms of your research that you haven't touched in 4 months. And so I have no problem giving you until next week. I do want you, even if you've already handed in your survey, to still post it on this and to read 2 other people's surveys and give them some feedback. So if you answered no and you didn't go to the right place, or whatever you've done, then people are going to give you feedback. And we learn by looking at other people's work. It's an interesting thing. When I was way back when I was a lowly master's student, I actually was a peer support for teaching assistants at the University of Toronto. And I ran these workshops called micro teaching workshops, where I supported people in developing their capacity to teach. And I got to tell you that being in that context and constantly looking at different criteria about how people learn, how people express themselves, made me a better teacher. Now, why was that? How would me facilitating something and looking at how other people did the same things that I did, how would that teach me and make me a better teacher? Can you think of how that might have happened? I know, hard question. And Bethany, it's only 11:20 in the morning. But how peer evaluation and reading the work that someone else has done helps you develop a better sense of how things are the way they are is because you're learning what good work looks like. You're also learning about how things can be done ineffectively, or common mistakes that people make. And so and that's part of a learning process, because when we're in a learning environment, none of us will are required to be perfect at any of this. And Julia, you only needed to do edits that I gave you, and you did them. So I'm not worried that you're ready to go. And if there are any things that I need to tweak, then I'll just give you feedback on your survey. Does that sound good?
That sounds good. I was just wondering, so from I just want to clarify if I am able to begin my Microsoft Forms and everything at this point.
Absolutely can. Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, totally do that. And I actually don't anticipate that, like, I'm just going to look at it and say you're ready to go. But I already did. So it's not, you only got a few little things left. And so I am not worried. I'm not worried at all.
Okay. Thank you.
Good? Yeah. And good. that would go for all of you. Like, if you like what you've got is good, I would encourage you to take a look at the some of the tests that I have. So some of the different ways I've created questions, right? If you have any difficulty, I included last week after class, I included just some helps in terms of creating a survey, but you could actually take this survey and just copy it if you want to use it to start off with. I have no problem with you doing that. I wonder if you can do that. So if I share, I'm just asking myself this question as to whether or not, if I want to copy it, I can. I think that is this the right one? Yeah. So I think that if I share this with all of you, let me just put something in here in terms of, and see if you're able to. Sometimes I like to look at things that are already done and edit them rather than creating something from scratch. And so if you would, I did it again. All right. So I think that, can I share this with you? Copy, open, shared with me. All right, if I open it, can I share it with you? And can you copy it? Collaborate or duplicate? Okay, I can share this link, a school account. So you will be able to specific people who shared in college, anyone with an office account. Okay, so I'm going to actually see, can you actually help me out with this? I need your esteemed work. I'm going to share a link with you and tell me if you can open this up in your own MS Teams on your computer, because then you could just copy it. So make a copy of this and then work on that for your survey. I have no problem at all with you doing that. Is anyone in a position where they could try opening this up and see if it opens up in their own MS Teams? Sorry, MS Forms? Anyone want to try it? You can't open it, Julia, or you don't want to try it? Both. Bethany, both. No, it's not at all. No, this is not something I want to do. Okay.
My computer's dying at the moment.
Yeah, no problem. So so what I'm going to do is I'm going to post this and ask you, it said you don't have permission to edit. Thank you, Natasha. So let's see. Now, did you open it, Natasha, in your, like Microsoft 365? Did you sign? You're on your phone right now, so you might not be able to try that. So I'll tell you what, that by tomorrow morning at the latest, I will figure out how to give you a template that you can actually modify. Does that sound good? You used your phone. Okay. So what I'm gonna show up as Natasha's phone. So I will show this because honestly, I think that it's sometimes easier to do it that way. Okay, any other questions about the process moving forward?
This is for sure my hardest course, but I think because the reason it's my hardest course is because I find it difficult to follow all the details of
what, for sure,
all the steps, but I think that it's really interesting.
Okay, good. And you know what, Julia, one day you're going to be teaching research courses. But this is just the way of things, right? When you're learning something new, and there's all sorts of new skills. But you know what? By the time you get to the end of this, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I learned so many things. And my commitment to you is to continue to be very, very specific about what is required of you as, Alice can edit it. Wonderful. So she's actually signed in through through Microsoft 365, which you all have an account with through Sheridan. And so you can then, but what you need to do is you need to make a copy of it, Alice, just so copy it and then edit it, because otherwise it will change for everyone. Does that make sense? I knew you were still awake, Alice. Okay, so that's what you're, and Julia, good for you for being willing to, you changed anything you did back. Thank you, Alice. But just copy it. You should be able to copy it then, and then you can use the copy of it. And I'm happy for you to do that. What else will I say? Yeah, just move forward, knowing that you, like, first of all, no, the only stupid question is an unasked one, because you didn't ask it. So please ask as many questions as you want through this process. And this is big stuff. Like, you are doing things that often undergraduate students don't. Oh, Alice, I was teasing you. I knew you were awake. Often people don't have the opportunity to do research by the time they get to graduate school. And so by the time you get to graduate school, you will be super, like, you will find courses that you take on research in graduate school. You'll be like, easy, simple. I totally get it. I've already written a research protocol. I've already done my own research and conducted it myself. Your professors will be very impressed. But this doesn't mean that this is graduate level work necessarily, but the same skills that you are using. The only thing that changes is that the research gets bigger and you have more scope to do research, but you are getting the fundamentals of research. If you were in a Bachelor of Social Work right now, you would do one intro to research course similar to the one that you did in the first semester of this program. Okay, so I am going to stop the recording.